Will the judge make his dream come true?
Doyle, get the results.
Paternity Week. Real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Karima Betts says when she was 13, she gave birth to a baby boy and was able to raise him for the first year of his life. Karima claims her son was eventually taken into foster care and ultimately adopted, and she never saw him again. However, Karima believes the defendant is her biological son, so she petitioned the court for a DNA test to find out the truth. Defendant Lamont Hicks says he didn't even know he was adopted until he was 13 years old, and once he found out, he tried to find his biological parents. Lamont claims social services told him his biological mother was deceased, so he was shocked when Karima reached out to him.
Why don't you give me some background on this?
All right, when I was 13, I got pregnant at a very young age, and I was able to keep him for about a year when I stayed in Philadelphia.
Whose household were you in?
My mother's. I lived in my mother's house, and she allowed me to take care of him. She helped me take care of him, and I ended up leaving my mother's house and moving in with my mother's first husband.
Why?
Because things in my mother's house wasn't going right for me. I guess I wanted to be grown, maybe. But I ended up moving in with my mother's first husband, and I stayed there for about 6 months, and then I moved to North Carolina with my sister. And I stayed there for a while, and I actually took care of this young man I believe is my son. And things was okay while I was going to school, and things with my sister started not to go right too. She ended up putting me out.
For what?
I guess I wasn't following her rules. So she ended up putting me out, and me and my son out. And after she put me out, I had nowhere to go, so I went to the social service there, and they ended up taking my son from me, but they gave me the option, because I was 15, to be in foster care with him. So I allowed them to do that. And I was there for about 6 months before I realized I was pregnant again with my daughter. And they didn't put me with him. They put me in a girl's home. They put him in a children's home. So I ended up running away from there. And I roamed the streets for about 5-6 years. And then a family member actually helped me get myself together. And I say about 2005, I decided to look for my son to see if I can find him.
Okay, let me understand. Everywhere you stayed, as a young teenager, you either left or there was trouble. It was problematic.
Right. I was actually a very troubled young lady.
Okay.
You know, my brother killed himself when I was 13, right before I had my son. And
13.
Right.
Yeah.
I never knew who my father was, so I was really a troubled young lady.
Yeah.
You know, and I began to drink a lot when I was after, you know, I got out of foster care and began to drink a lot.
No one suggested or tried to get you to go to counseling?
Not when I was a young lady. When I got older and a family member actually did help me and help me get myself together, that's when I began to, you know, seek therapy, and I began to, you know, actually get my life back together.
And how long do you think it took?
About 3 years.
3 years?
Right, I went to school and everything, so.
Good.
I mean,
and then what'd you do? What type of school and how far did you go?
I actually went and got my high school diploma, and I went and got a cosmetology degree.
All right, congratulations. And the reason I'm focusing on that, you're like millions of other young people who are traumatized at an early age and don't have a family structure or community structure that is there to save them. And so they kind of internalize their pain and don't know how to handle that pain and act out and reject and stay angry at everybody. So that makes sense now. But as I always advise folks, you got to get in counseling and therapy.
It worked.
It worked. It took 3 years, but it transformed your entire life. So that's why I was looking into that. You give me some background, young man.
Honestly, I didn't even know I was adopted to the age of 13, Your Honor. When I was in middle school, my name changed from Lamont West to Lamont Hicks. And I heard some of my classmates speaking, saying that, oh, he's adopted, you know, stuff like that. So I asked my adoptive parents, and they said, yeah, they said my mama was young, and it kind of made me a little bit mad because they hid the truth from me, but I guess they was looking out for me, and they said they was going to wait till I got a little bit older, but people around school was just saying it, so I really wanted to know. I was very eager. after that, I pursued to go find my mother, and I went to social service like around the age of 16, and they told me that she's dead. They told me she was dead, and they had no record of my father whatsoever. So I was like, I mean, I'm going to college next year, so it is what it is. Until about this last birthday, April 28th.
So what does that make you, a Taurus?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's see what Taurus. Look up Taurus. If he's telling the truth or not. I think Taurus tell the truth all the time. There's some Scorpios that'll lie in a minute. What sign are you? Scorpio. So, what occurred?
Miss Karima, she messaged me and she said happy birthday. She wished me happy birthday, and I said thank you. And she asked me, was I adopted? And I said yes. And she said, I think I might be your mother. And I was like out of curiosity, I was like, oh, okay. So I called my adopted dad, and he was like, well, just calm down, let me talk to her, and then, get some information. And he said, he told me about probably a week after, he was like, everything that she told me and we talked about is true.
Stay tuned for the paternity test results.
On his birthday, it showed up on my Facebook page. Lamont Hicks' birthday is today. He turned 22. And I knew that's how old my son would be that day. And once I talked to his adoptive parents, they knew that I was who I was.
Because of your knowledge and your history of...
Right, and he was actually in the same county, but when I went looking for him in 2005, they told me he was adopted out, and they couldn't give me any information about it.
One time, he had company over to my house, and I'm like, well, before you leave, can you clean up your mess? So he get mad at me and take me in the back room, and he had made me punch myself in my eye.
I grew up in Detroit, and I'm proud of where I come from. It's a tough city, but there's a lot of love here. And I carry that tough love with me as a judge. And I still keep it real, hearing real cases with real people from my courtroom in Chicago. I'm Judge Mathis.
Honestly, I didn't even know I was adopted till the age of 13, Your Honor. After that, I pursued to go find my mother, and I went to social service like around the age of 16, and they told me that she's dead.
Defendant Lamont Hicks found out he was adopted when he was 13 years old, and the plaintiff believes she may be his biological mother. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test.
Let me hear from you about your outreach to him.
What I would do is, I got on Facebook, and anybody that had the name Lamont, that's what I named him. I named him Lamont West, which was my brother who passed away. That was his name. Mm-hmm. So anybody that had the name Lamont that lived in my area, I would send them a friend's request.
Were you all still in the same town together?
30 minutes away the whole time.
30 minutes?
30 minutes away the whole time. Okay. So anyway, I sent the friend's request out, and on his birthday, it showed up on my Facebook page. Lamont Hicks' birthday is today. He turned 22. And I knew that's how old my son would be that day. So I said to myself, now, should you send him a message or should you not? But I ended up sending him the message, asking him, could I ask him a couple of questions? I don't want to sound weird or anything, but I'm looking for my son. And then I started asking him questions, about himself and telling him things about myself. And once I talked to his adoptive parents, they knew that I was who I was, and I knew that he was my son.
Because of your knowledge and your history of...
Right, and he was actually in the same county where he was taken from me. He was still in the same county, but when I went looking for him in 2005, they told me he was adopted out, and they couldn't give me any information about it.
And what's been your interaction since then?
I have the messages. We text. We message every day. And I actually showed. The only thing I was actually able to keep from him was his baby picture.
Okay.
And I sent it to him, and he keeps saying it doesn't look like him, but
he said it doesn't look like him.
To me,
let's see.
To me, it looks just.
I'll be the judge of that. And thank goodness you all were able to come here. We invite fathers and mothers who want to know whether the child is theirs, because we want to make sure that folks pay their child support if that's the case. Or they want to get child support off their behind. So they come. So, wow, looks just like you. Who you kidding? You still look like that. You still look like that. Let me see some of these messages. Doyle, get the results for us, please. Hi, my name is Karima Bex, I'm inboxing you to ask you a few questions. Are you adopted? I know this may seem crazy, but I've been looking for my son for almost 20 years. And if you're not adopted, please forgive me for bothering you. His response, yes, I am. And you say, do you know your real mother or father's name? He says, no. And you say, I think I could be. He said, wow, explain how, because I'm confused. And social services said they couldn't find you when I was little. What's your full name? You're asking him. Lamont West Hicks. You say, I want to wish you a happy belated birthday, son. He says, thanks. I'm so happy. I want to meet soon. You say, I'm open to that. He says, okay, I want to meet the rest of my family. And hats off to you. A lot of young people are angry and don't want to meet the other siblings. I was angry with my dad, who I never spent any more than 30 days with, and I didn't want to meet his other kids. And didn't meet him until I was on television. And they came to meet me. I mean, it was fine. I embraced them and had them begin coming over to my home. But yeah, for many years I knew they existed and didn't want to meet them. But so you were a bigger man than me. Or you are a bigger man than I was. We're going to see how much time have you all spent together since then.
He actually lives in a different part of North Carolina than I do now, so this is the first time I've seen him.
How far away?
About 4 hours.
4 hours? Trying to see how much I can afford. I want to help you all spend some time together. That's why I was calculating. I can't get you a car. I don't know, you might be too much of a hot shot to ride the bus back and forth. I'll tell you what I'll do. If it is the case, I'll at least let you all spend 3 days together here. I'll pay for that since you're always in Chicago. I'll pay for that. All right, so you all get 3 additional days in Chicago to bond. All right, now I can't afford another hotel room, so you all got to stay together. I'm just kidding. I'll just make sure you're on the same floor. How's that?
The results of the paternity test when we return. And coming up.
He jumped on me, started kicking me, started calling me.
He grabbed your hand?
He grabbed my hand and made me punch myself in my eye.
Okay.
He made my eye black. I got evidence. Yeah, kicking me, calling me bees and whatever. So I'm yelling for help, like, can somebody call the police? And when the police finally came, that's when he jumped off my balcony.
And later.
What'd you do to this woman to make her do all of that?
Obviously not spending enough time with her and working.
He didn't shave his beard.
Like that. They don't run off.
He wouldn't shave his beard. He wouldn't shave his beard.
I know, man. I don't believe the woman is that bad.
I thought it was love at first sight. A month into that, I saw a monster.
I know you're about to make him look like the devil.
Next Judge Mathis.
Do you think you found your biological parent or child but want a DNA test? If so, call us at 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathisTV.com.
This last birthday, April 28th, Miss Karima, she messaged me and she said happy birthday. She wished me happy birthday and I said thank you. And she asked me was I adopted and I said yes. And she said I think I might be your mother.
Defendant Lamont Hicks found out he was adopted when he was 13 years old, and the plaintiff believes she may be his biological mother. So she petitioned the court for a DNA test.
All right, well, Karima is your mom.
I knew it.
Can I hug him? Y'all go on and hug.
son. I owe him 20 years.
Same. I'm about to cry. Hold on, the same.
Okay.
I just been waiting like a long time.
We're gonna build our relationship
and meet the rest of my family.
Plaintiff Kashana Hagler dated the defendant for 4 years, and she claims he was a physically abusive cheater. Kashana claims she and the defendant had sex 2 days ago, despite the fact that the defendant's new girlfriend is with him in court today. Kashana's suing her ex for child support. Defendant DeMar Jackson says Kashana is a liar who's just upset that he no longer wants to be with her. DeMar claims Kashana is jealous of his new girlfriend, and she constantly harasses both of them. And he has the text messages to prove it.
Start with you.
Okay, I'm here today on the behalf of DeMar Jackson. He's a cheater and an abuser. He cheated on me numerous of times.
You say you're here on behalf of
I'm here today.
That's not the way you help
I'm
people.
sorry. I'm here today
to sue.
To sue him.
DeMar, not on behalf of.
To sue DeMar.
She's on behalf of.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, he's a cheater.
Mm-hmm.
He's an abuser. He cheated on me through the whole 4 years of our relationship.
When did you all begin dating?
April 2013.
Okay, 13 you all began, and during that time he was cheating, and what else?
Just cheating and being abusive.
Abusive how?
Like, the example, one time, like, he had company over to my house, and I'm like, well, before you leave, Walmart, because we call him Walmart, can you clean up your mess? So he get mad at me and take me in the back room, and he had made me punch myself with my eye when he jumped on me, started kicking me, started calling me.
He grabbed your hand.
He grabbed my hand and made me punch myself in my eye.
Okay.
He made my eye black.
I got evidence. Kicking you?
Yeah, kicking me, calling me bees and whatever. So I'm yelling for help, like, can somebody call the police? And he's like, well, he yelling with me, like, call the police, thinking like I'm playing. So when the police finally had came, that's when he jumped off my balcony. And I pressed charges on him. And after I pressed the charges on him, I dismissed it because I was like, I got kids by him.
But did they charge him, though?
They charged him, but...
okay, so they believed you.
Yeah, I got
let me see what you have. You say you want to show me.
My report.
They believe whenever you're charged, that means that the prosecutor believed that there was probable cause.
Yes.
And they believe that it's more likely than not that what is being alleged is true. Otherwise, the prosecutor does not charge. The prosecutor, they get the police report. That's when the prosecutor says, okay, I think we should charge the person.
Yeah, but the state still picked it up. If I was to drop it, they still picked it up.
They did, right. And so that's what I was going to say. If they have enough evidence without your testimony, they'll pursue it.
Yes.
And so what happened when they pursued it?
He ended up having to go to the Monday program.
Okay, so he was found guilty.
Yeah.
All right, without your... Pardon me?
That's a lie. I went to the Monday program for something else, not because of that. Those charges were dropped.
All right, well, unless you have something that says he was convicted, he says the Monday program was for something else. But you do provide me a police report, and it does make reference to the things that occurred that you alleged. And they took photographs of your injured eye. She stated that the kicks to her legs had not left any marks. All right. So is that the only time? Or do you have
for
some other
him
instances?
to be bringing somebody else to the show when he was just with me 2 nights ago.
But I know that.
2 nights ago. And if it weren't for me, she wouldn't be here.
Did you know they were dating?
He told me that they broke up.
When?
Like, before all this stuff had happened, like he broke
he
up.
tried to call you and tell you they were back together.
I didn't know. I mean,
get a man.
That's on her if she want to be here.
Back. He was gonna call you. He was calling you to tell you.
She wanted to be. And for him to be bringing somebody else to the show when he was just with me 2 nights ago.
But I know that.
2 nights ago. And if it weren't for me, she wouldn't be here.
Plaintiff Kashana Hagler dated the defendant for 4 years, and she claims they had sex 2 days ago, despite the fact that he's in court today with his new girlfriend.
Sir, you give me some background.
All right. She pretty much is all of this is because she is mad at me because I don't want to be with her no more. You know, part of me leaving my ex-girlfriend or my girlfriend at a point in time was because of her harassing us, calling 24/7.
About what? What was she discussing?
Pretty
what
much.
What she say?
Oh, you're not gonna be with no other female if you ain't gonna be with me. That girl that you're not seeing your kids. She can this and that.
What time frame? Give me for the year of such and such, or from 6 months?
From since we first started.
When was that?
Was, I say April 16th. Such as I'm gonna make your life a miserable hell. I'm gonna milk you for everything you got. You know, you're not your kid's last name gonna be changed. She harasses her. She also this is my girl.
I hope when we get to this child support, you paid because you keep talking about everything other than what she is suing you for.
Okay,
and so I hope you don't owe it because you really deflecting that conversation.
Well, you know what? I actually do owe child support, Your Honor. I was incarcerated for 6 months. That's part of being backed up. I got out of incarceration. I found me a job.
$1,000 a month?
I pay like
$300.
Nah, $300 to her and another $300 to my other child. So like $600 a month I have to pay. So when I came out of incarceration, the Monday program, I found me a job. I actually got laid off from that job. I got proof that I go.
When did you find the job?
Yes, sir. I start a job tomorrow.
No, when did you find the other one?
My other job was like, let's see, I got out February, so it was like March, April-ish, around that way. And it was a temp service. I ended up getting laid off.
Okay. What do you have coming up tomorrow, you were saying?
Well, I got resources. I don't have my thing. They just gave me a card, gave me an interview, and hired me pretty much on the spot. They said they know about my court day and things like that, so they said I'll just start tomorrow as soon as I get back home or whatever. Other than that, before I didn't have a job, I was still going job hunting. I got job resources and things like that that I use around my city and things like that.
What is it you want to show me?
Not just like this is just something like the thing for the job store I used to go to.
All right, just let me have your file so I can look through it quickly. You sound convincing, and that's all that's all I hope to see is young men who are doing their best. I know it's hard out here with jobs and educational opportunities. And so that's all I want to see is that you've been trying.
Yes, sir.
And
it's not like I don't want to pay my child support because I do. I love my children dearly.
All right. And I see some evidence of you trying, but then I see some texts that don't have anything to do with the job.
That's her text harassing my girl.
Girl, I go to war about mines, especially Marmar. Don't think your punk A is hard. I'm going to still beat you. You are nobody to me. Who is this from and to who?
She's talking to her.
You to her.
Because he brought her to my house for her to fight me. No.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
We fought, Your Honor.
Let's get to the specifics of the child support. Tell me about that. And what has that been like over the course of, how old is the child?
They 1 and 2. I got 2 kids, but I'm 1 and 2 years old.
Okay, 1 and 2. And has he paid anything over the 2 years?
He just started paying his child support of last year.
Child is only 1. That makes sense.
Say that again. No, I'm saying is.
All right, you have your child support.
Yes, he just now start trying to pay child support.
You have the printout. I'll just go with
the printout also in my folder.
I'll go with the
printout. Yeah, it went up to over $5,000.
All right. It is over $5,000. That's the only issue today. And you have 2 other kids, you say?
No, 1 other.
1 other. So you have
he got 1 on the way.
You have a total of 3 children, and perhaps 1 on the way.
That's
but
what
he has.
said.
Is this your girlfriend is expecting?
Possibly.
All right, and so you work.
Yes, I do.
All right. So you all believe you can afford it?
Yes.
All right. So they believe as a couple they can afford it.
Okay.
How many children you have other than those 2? That's it?
I got 7 kids, Your Honor. And I'm a good mother. I love my kids.
How old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
How old is the oldest child?
They 12 years old. He's 12 years old. They 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Okay, and all the other fathers take care of their responsibilities?
Yes, they pay child
That's a
support.
lie, Your Honor.
That's a lie.
Well, how will you know and how will she know?
She's at my neck.
Huh?
She's at my neck. The other children's father don't do nothing for their kids. None of that.
How do you know?
I was with her for 4 years. Out of all 6 of her baby dads, you know, she got 7. couple months. They've been in for
you still
years.
get them 2 years on the
They've
shelf.
been in for years.
They've been in for years.
Judge Mathis rules on this dispute shortly. And coming up,
That's one of the lowest bombs they throw to get out of the debt. You expect me to say, no. Oh, she's no good. You're no good. Case dismissed. That's what people expect. Not today, buddy. Not today.
I thought it was love at first sight. A month into that, I saw a monster.
I know you're about to make him look like the devil.
Next, Judge Mathis.
Kashana Hagler dated the defendant for 4 years, and she claims they had sex 2 days ago, despite the fact that he's in court today with his new girlfriend.
Sir, you have a printout showing, even though yours shows a little less, meaning you are paying
Yes,
your
sir. Yes,
arrearage.
sir.
It's still over $5,000, slightly over $5,000. And if you can't find a job that affords you, because it sounds like you pay $300 each.
Yes, sir.
And that's a pretty good piece, man.
He in the original brother,
That's
baby,
a pretty
for
good piece of money.
$10,000.
And so they determined based on the number of children and his income. And you need to slow down as well on
Or somebody be trying to have a baby by you.
having children. Both of you need to tie it up. Let's see. I'll grant you your judgment,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Your Honor.
$5,000. And if you're trying to change the amount because of your income, then you have to go down to Child Support Agency and go through that for a modification. Good luck to you all. Bye-bye.
I just hope that they can get the issue resolved. I mean, like, we all grown, you know, you 29, he's 27. We need to learn how to move on, you feel me? If you want to be there for his kids, let him be there for his kids. Y'all don't have to be in a relationship to take care of y'all child, you feel
But when
me?
we still messing around,
Okay.
and what are you?
But still, though, that
was with me 2 days ago.
Listen, that doesn't, and I know about that. That doesn't give you the right to be messy about it, though. We're grown. We can handle this as grown women.
You 20 years old.
Okay, I'm 20, but I have a job. I have
Okay,
my
I
own
do
child.
too.
Okay,
I
are you
do
working?
too. Yes, I do.
That's besides the point.
But
We're
you know
grown.
what? I don't even be arguing with you. This
Yeah.
is my baby daddy. So
We're grown. That's
you
all I'm
pretending
saying.
that you pregnant.
plaintiffs Adam McGinnis and his wife Jessica McGinnis say Jessica was friends with the defendant until he started telling people that Jessica wanted a relationship with him. They're suing because they loaned the defendant money for an attorney and he's failed to repay. Defendant Chris Elders insists Jessica did have feelings for him, and she even called him on her wedding day to see if there was any chance of them having a relationship. Chris insists he thought the money from the plaintiffs was a gift.
Start with you all.
Your Honor, Chris and I were friends for several years, and for whatever reason, he's been going around telling people that I was jealous of him, that I wanted a relationship with him, that...
Where do you know him, and what has the nature of the association been for the time frame that you've known him?
Well, we've just been friends. He come down to the house and did some work on the driveway, and that's how I met him. And I've kept this, with his 3 children and his wife at the time.
Okay, friends with his family.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
I mean, I've been over to his house for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, watched the kids open up gifts from Santa Claus.
All right. And during that time, everything's been fine? No fallouts? No
fallout.
drama?
No drama.
All right. That's a good friendship. What happened? Let's hear from you. Give me some background.
Your Honor, I met Jessica probably 2010, 2011. Developed a good friendship. We were friends for several years doing projects, helping out family events. She called me on her wedding day to discuss if she was making the right decision of getting married or at that time, and I'm not sure if she had developed more feelings for me than just friendship.
What made you think that?
She hadn't asked me that before. I felt like
Did she say anything that made you think that you were the one instead?
But she asked me pretty well blunt if I was ever going to have more feelings than friends for her.
No, I didn't.
And she wanted to be safe. She wanted to make sure she was making the right decision in getting married. And I respected that as being a friend. We talked a good bit. But basically asking me if there was any development in my part, if I thought there would ever be anything more than friends from the relationship.
Where did that come from?
It threw me for a loop.
What did you say?
I was shocked. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. But at my time of going through a divorce, that was the last thing in the world that I wanted to do was concentrate on a different relationship other than friends.
One more time. What did you say?
I said no.
That's it?
I said, I like you as a friend. I want to be your friend and maintain friendship. I think you're making a good decision. Maybe you're just having wedding jitters. And we talked probably 15 or 20 minutes after, and we developed the same friendship from there forward.
And you say something like, where is this coming from? Now, I don't know. Now, why would you say that? Well, our families have been friends
because that never happened.
Well, a little weird.
And when Adam and I got married, Your Honor, in August of 2014, he was still married. He wasn't going through a divorce at that time.
More of Judge Mathis when we return.
Think your heartburn
and his wife, Jessica McGinnis, say Jessica was good friends with the defendant, but the defendant insists Jessica wanted to date him.
I'm not going to let him just throw things out about your marriage unless you have some further evidence, because many people who owe money, and there's a husband and wife involved, that's one of the lowest bombs they throw to get out of the debt. You expect me to say, no. Oh, she's no good. You're no good. Case dismissed. That's what people expect. Not today, buddy. Not today. I'm messing up this woman's relationship. That doesn't even sound reasonable after 6 years.
Trust me, that is not something she would say.
Yeah.
She'd say a lot more than that. She loves to talk.
So it wouldn't just be that question. It would be a lot more behind it if it was true. All right. And tell me why you're suing the defendant today.
In January of 2016 is when his divorce and stuff started, and he went home after work one day, and his house was empty. Nothing was in it. No furniture, no clothes, no children, no spices in the cabinet.
She took the spices?
She took the cereal and the spices.
The cereal and the
spices out of his house.
Even his clothes.
And some of his clothes. And there was only a note that said, sorry. So he called us, and Adam and I went to the house, and we basically went on a manhunt. We were going up and down the street, knocking on the doors for the children.
Oh.
We weren't looking for my wife, Your Honor.
No. We were worried about the children.
We were worried about the children because she took off with all 3 children. Cell phones off, no communication. When I called, the cell phone was off. So we basically went door to door knocking to anybody, people he'd done work for in the past, anybody that would know where the children may be. So that's when I let him borrow the money because he didn't.
What did you come to find?
She was gone.
Still hasn't showed up?
As of now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's shown up now because I let him borrow the money, and that was...
Where had she gone? Where had she
Columbia, South Carolina.
Did your wife run off on you, and why?
She ran off on me. She was not happy. Obviously, I didn't talk enough, or I talked too much to her. And she took the kids, and she went on a adventure of her own that I guess she took some bad advice for some friends down in the lower part of the state. And it took calling local authorities to ask the question, you're legally married, our hands are tied, go through family court, which is what I did. Going through family court's not free, and that's when I turned to Jessica and Adam for assistance.
But I still want to delve, I'm just being nosy, I guess, but I want to know what type of conversation you all had. She just said, I'm not happy, and left. And what'd you do to her? What'd you do to this woman to make her do all of that?
Obviously not spending enough time with her and working.
He didn't shave his beard.
Like that. They don't run off.
He wouldn't shave his beard. He wouldn't shave his beard.
I know, man. I believe the woman is that bad. She'd get him at night before she ran. She cut it at night before she ran off.
That's actually a true statement, Your Honor.
True statement.
True statement. That,
your wife left you because
I totally disgusted her because she did not like a man with facial hair.
Did she warn you?
She warned me several times, but I didn't take that as a legitimate threat that she would take off with all the furniture and, most importantly, my kids over a beard. And not, obviously, there's a side to every story.
That is not funny.
It was funny after the fact, but at the time, it was pretty traumatizing to find that my 3 kids were gone.
I mean, we were worried about the 3 kids and
where they were at and if they were safe. And
regardless of what going on. We still care about them kids.
And now that we know everything worked out, everybody's all right?
I've got sole custody of all 3 children.
And when you look back, do you think that perhaps you should have cut your beard?
No, sir.
No?
No, Your Honor. There were other issues besides the beard shaving contest.
All right, something more serious, I hope.
I think that was the nail in the coffin, Your Honor, that pushed her over the edge. And obviously, when you have a third party helping to make decisions for someone, it led her down a road that there were errors and mistakes.
Friends from South Carolina, you say, in the lower part of the state?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
not them, obviously.
One of them was.
No, not one. No, not us.
them.
Not them.
Okay, you're so messy.
That's why I'm saying he's going all over town saying that I was jealous of him and was wanting to leave my husband. And I don't really want the beard either. I'm kind of happy with my husband as we stand.
We'll be right back. And on the next Judge Mathis.
I thought it was love at first sight. A month into that, I saw a monster.
I know you're about to make him look like the devil.
Next Judge Mathis.
Your town, your community, your events, and we are at the center of it all.
Seeking child support, but you think you need a paternity test? Call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathisTV.com. Plaintiffs Adam McGinnis and his wife Jessica McGinnis say Jessica was good friends with the defendant, but the defendant insists Jessica wanted to date him.
All right, back to the money. Why did he came to you and asked for money?
Yes, sir.
For the purpose of?
To hire a private investigator and a lawyer to find his children.
Good.
We'd actually went through something similar, and so I kind of helped Chris with that on, file emergency custody. That way, you can get them in 24 hours. Yep. Once he found them, he had the emergency custody, and he immediately went down and picked all 3 children up in Columbia. Okay. And
when was he to pay you?
He was supposed to pay me by February of 2016.
And has not, obviously.
No, sir.
All right, sir, what do you say to the money?
I took it as a gift, Your Honor. They were helping me, helping our kids come home, and apparently it was not a gift. Once we started discussing that the money needed to be paid back, there was no way that I could repay that in 30 days. I had enough issues going on with the divorce that I did not want to have any other drama or creating a fringe on the friendship more than what it had already been. For not needing or wanting to repay it, it wasn't that there wasn't a need or a want.
How many times did they ask about repayment?
At least half a dozen.
Half a dozen.
At least.
What do you think? They've lost their minds? Or
I don't think
because you say that there was never an agreement for you to repay. And if 2 people keep bugging you, something wrong with them.
There could be.
Yeah, they keep making this story up. So, anybody have evidence of anything?
Sir. Yes, sir.
I see stack of evidence you have.
He ended up blocking us and stuff like that.
You blocked your call?
No, he blocked our calls.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, blocked us on Facebook.
Because you
had no way to communicate with him.
Because they kept asking for money that you didn't owe. That's why, right?
That's what I felt, Your Honor.
That's why you blocked him.
Correct.
However, at one point you felt you owed. As I read, I will not lie and say that I have paid you in full by Sunday, but I am doing my best to get you a payment. I just had to pay $4,500 for attorney fees, and I'll try to get you paid as well.
For money that we gave him. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's explaining away, and here's another day. Why don't we come to a legitimate payment plan? Because all court will do is cost more money. Trying to stay out of court now. And help me get you paid. How much of a payment can you accept? I asked you several times how much you need, but you never gave me an answer. What do you have to say now?
That was after I decided to not ruin a friendship and decided to try to make a payment plan.
Don't change your mind now. Judgment for the plaintiff. I believe it was a loan. I believe, based on this testimony, you submitted text messages, and about 6 of them he acknowledged owing a payment plan and begged you not to take him to court. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. Thank you.
Just glad that it's over, and want to try to get our friendship back, and
want to see them kids.
Want to get back with the kids and see them and spend time with them. And
I think the biggest thing is just exactly putting it to rest and make a better plan to have a little bit more description of what's necessary to not ruin a friendship over $1.
Yep.
Yes.